Then
Put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, do 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 do. I've got you, babe. I've got you, babe. Okay, campers, rise and shine. Don't forget your boots, because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Not hardly, and you can expect hazardous travel later today. What with that blizzard thing?
That blizzard thing. Well, I've got the news report right here, and it's calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's
and you know what? No, because what happened is you messed up the line slightly, so it threw me off. And you know what makes today especially interesting?
Especially cold.
Yes, especially cold. Is a question on everybody's lips.
Their chapped lips.
Yes, their chapped lips. Will Phil come out and see his shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, Woodchuck Chuckers. It's Groundcast Day.
A Groundhog Day Podcast.
A Groundhog Day podcast.
You got to make sure you get that in. I don't know why you were like southern you had an accent that time. I hate that intro so much.
Yeah.
So,
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bobby.
I'm Randy, and this is episode 27 of, as you heard us say,
27.
Groundcast Day, a Groundhog Day podcast.
So yeah, we gotta go.
Veered to the right.
We gotta talk about the
Veered
train first.
and to the right.
This week we got a little
Veered
bit obsessed.
to the right.
We got a little bit obsessed with the train again.
Oh man.
The car chase scene where Phil, Gus, and Ralph are being chased by the cop car.
Yep.
And there's some cinematographic problems with that scene that we cannot get over.
I've told you before, but I'm not going through the maps. But if you follow the way the maps are laid out, there's no way any of that actual stuff in the car chase works.
Yeah, I know.
But within the film,
So yeah, but maybe it has slightly different geography, but it still doesn't make sense because here's what happens.
veered to the right.
They get on the train tracks, the cop car is right behind them. Now this time we've noticed that the lights do in fact veer to the right a little bit.
He veers to the stage right.
Because it's our left, yeah. Because because you can see the head, you can see
that
the
pewter film.
You can see that. Yeah, we were talking about that. We can see the cop car right behind them, and then it kind of like starts to slowly back away or lose speed on them, and then it starts to. We can see it start to pull off, and then when they cut to a different angle, it does pull off.
And then right before they pull off,
we don't really see it pull off. You start to.
And when you see them start to move because you see the lights in the back of the shot start to move, and then they veer off.
The train goes by.
Yeah. And
then of course, that was what, car number 3 we've said?
I have to rewatch the movie
anyway,
to it. But
then that car, which you would think went into it established as a grass ditch. It's not like it's not like a dip in the ground. It's just like a grassy patch.
Yeah,
a grassy knoll, if you will. And
what's the opposite of a knoll? A ditch.
But it doesn't go down and in. It's not like
there is.
It's not like a trench.
It is a trench, but it's not deep. It's not overly deep.
Yeah, so the car would not get stuck like I thought it would.
It's not like a proper drainage ditch.
So it could have actually like rolled back onto the road after that.
Yep.
But the problem with that is that cop car would have then been behind them. But when we see it come again, it's coming from in front of them with the other car.
My counterpoint to that is, they could have, when they veered off, they could have gone down a side street and circled back around. We don't know how much time they have to after they turned off. Like, if there's a time skip, if you circle around the other cop.
Randy's apology for this only makes sense if there was like at least like what 5-10 minutes in between when we see.
No, it just has to be a couple minutes because it's a high speed chase.
The cop car had to have enough time to loop all the way around to meet up with another car and then head them off.
It would be the equivalent to me of the cop car like veering off down the road here, and one person going up towards the hill, and one person going down the park road that's there, and then the other one veering around the other corner, like down the big hill.
You know what we need is even more geography lessons.
That's it. But it's like circling around.
People can't see.
It's like
near your house.
Yeah, I know. With me being very unspecific about what the geography around the area of River City looks like.
Now, one guy might have might be a stalker who's listening to this, and we don't want him knowing where Randy lives. But,
or somebody who knows us and they know exactly where I live.
But holy shit. Yeah, we were talking about how we're going to have to recreate that scene with an electric train and some little toy cars.
Veered to the right.
You can have a conductor.
That's why I had the southern accent.
You can have a conductor's hat on, and I'll have a camera filming it.
That's why I had the southern accent, because I was making fun of Kevin Costner in Oliver Stone's JFK.
We're just going to release a video of a train, a toy train with 2 little cars coming.
I'm going to have to buy a toy train.
And you have to like push the cars with your fingers. You're pushing the cars with your fingers.
It's like you're going to be seeing a video eventually. It's like, okay, here's the map of
We need an overhead view of
Woodstock, where is it? It's
Illinois.
And it's like, here's the layout of the town. See, it's not possible for them to have veered to the right on this thing based on the geography of the town. Mm-hmm. But the geography of the film, in fact, would be like, okay, I'm going to stop with that accent because it's a weird one.
I've gone quite mad. Yeah, just like Southern/Midwest.
Whoa, boy, we're veering all over the place. So either this is recording really good or really bad.
Now, what else did we talk about today?
I don't know, but I would turn that because you're just recording your nipple and you're not recording your voice.
So as usual.
That might actually have been what the why it's veering like crazy because it might just be rubbing against your shirt.
So we also talked about what the hell did we talk about? I talked about the fact that okay, so for Groundhog Day, let's wrap up with that. Then we'll get into our other half. Would it be possible? I said to shorten this movie. If we went straight from the night when Phil and Rita are in bed together and he's like, she falls asleep and he's reading to her, directly to the final shot of them waking up in bed together. Because the only thing, it's a 20-minute skip, but the only thing that would really not make sense is the line when she says, I bought you, I own you. The rest of it could still fit.
Nope, because now, well, first off, there's the whole thing where Phil doesn't actually grow if you cut out that 20 minutes, which is actually probably like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So
in between those two, yeah, that's when he learns the piano.
Yeah, he learns the piano and how to ice sculpt and how to do this and how to do that and yada yada
It's
yada.
about 10 years.
So it's like per each, but so he loses all that character development that he loses becoming a better person if you cut out that 20 minutes. And her timelines do not jive right because she's going to remember something completely different than him. So it would work if we're going by our weird.
I'm saying if it went with them together.
If you just did them together, like I said, you would lose all the character development.
And they both woke up the next day.
And he wouldn't be as good of a person as he was by the end of the film.
But she'd still have Rita with him. He'd be like,
yeah, but that's not
training.
That's only part of the thing. He would never have learned piano. He would never have learned all the medical knowledge he's acquired. He would never have learned to love the arts and to love reading and
anything you have to judge a man on is his skills.
Yeah, but he also was bettering himself as a person.
Oh, yeah,
probably reading philosophy.
He had to save everybody, do his perfect day again.
He got to know the small town people. You know, they're the only real people.
Mm-hmm. That was the real message.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis is trying to let us know. Don't we live in Pittsburgh? In Punxsutawney.
It's like, you want to live in the mountains.
Yeah, we're just high altitudes.
Where there's high altitudes.
Boy, that'd be great.
Yeah,
little cabin, with a.
You want to be away from civilization. You want to get away from the hubbub of the big city
of
Pittsburgh. You want to get away from Pittsburgh and go somewhere smaller, where, like I said, people are more
where
real.
There's boats but not the ocean.
So what I was gonna start.
We're doing like a duet rap right now.
Well, we already talked about the train thing that I was going crazy about because I'm gonna beat that train into the ground until we get to the bottom of this. Man, I wish Harold Ramis was still around.
Through a tunnel down deep into the earth.
Stanley Rubin on Twitter. Can we start tweeting at him and try to get information?
How dare you film this?
No. It's like, hey, we're just trying to figure something out here.
When you filmed this, like 26 years ago, right?
Yes.
As of now, 2019. So when he filmed this 26 years ago, how come you guys messed up the cinematography of that scene? He's gonna be like, what?
Not the cinematography, it would be the geographical continuity of the thing. We're not recording on the computer.
Oh, okay.
But what I was bringing to the table this week was
the big table.
The big table is that we see over and over again Ned always coming in. It's like Ned Ryerson. He has a certain amount of energy. He's really up there, pep, like fast.
Yep.
On his last appearance in the film,
the 12th of Christmas.
When he meets him on that street corner, not the one when he meets him and Rita at the thing.
Yeah.
The day when Phil hugs him and makes him uncomfortable.
So that's like the
he literally, instead of going, Phil Connors? I thought that was you. Why are we going Southern again?
He's got less that energy, yeah.
He goes, Phil Connors? I thought that was you.
My only explanation for that being that maybe he got there at a different time and Ned had a different energy this time.
Maybe he was ground down by the world, is what you're saying?
No, I thought because, yeah, is Ned affected by the loop? Because I thought maybe he wasn't.
He's a devil.
He's a devil, yeah.
He just chose not to, he's choosing not to remember all the things. He's just like, I'm just going to live the loop
Wait
the
a
once.
second. So if that means to Phil, it's a circle, but to Ned, it's a line. Like he's in the middle of that circle, just a straight line going.
Ionic and phallic. Circles and lines.
Wow.
Another
Another layer.
like usual. But no, it's like...
And then,
I
of
think
course,
because
that circle is spewing out threads all
because
over the
I
place.
think
dead universes.
that since we're saying that he's a supernatural being, I think he can choose to he's not going to be reliving that moment over and over again. He just lives that moment once, and it just continues to play out throughout the universes continuously, with all their minor variations on that. He just is like, nope, this is it. I did my spiel to him once about living a premium life. I only have to do it once. Goodbye.
Oh, you mean he can like set it in stone?
Yeah, and go. This is what I'm saying to him.
What if Phil does different shit?
Yeah, then he's never there. Oh well, he doesn't run into him. But whenever he runs into him, it's always going to be the same thing. He only has that one instance in his mind. He doesn't have to relive the loop over and over again. He knows it's there. The only time he has to change is when he buys his premium, when he gets his premium life.
Oh, so he gets a notification like, hey, Phil finally did the different thing. Uh-oh, gotta go back.
It's like, oh, wait, there's something different? Okay, I better check
like
in.
He's pre-programmed his past self to just like be on autopilot. Is what you're saying?
Yep, exactly. Because he doesn't. It's a supernatural being who's been living for millions of years, for an eternity.
Or is it just a projection? Like,
yeah, he's just a thought form of the supernatural.
An avatar, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, we solved that one.
He's just a passenger.
There you go.
And he rides and he rides and he rides. Through the streets at the city at night.
Triggering.
Yes, the trigger warning.
All right, we better get to
Foam God 2018. Sorry, Foam Lord 2018.
Was that 2018?
Foam Lord 2017?
Probably. It's been a while.
River Dice River City.
So let's get to what we did today.
Oh yeah, we did something slightly different this week. We watched our movie
separately. We watched Groundhog Day separately. Then I came here.
Except that we watched a bunch of the movie right now earlier.
Yeah, well, no, it's still like a couple of scenes.
Just a couple of scenes.
Just to analyze.
So before we go to our next little bit here, how was your watch of Groundhog Day this week?
I watched like half of it yesterday and half of it today. Something like that.
And so how was your 2 watches of it then?
Pretty drunk. Well, I was pretty drunk. I got wasted today. I took a nap before I came here. I went swimming outside. It was nice, but I think I got a little sunburned. But yeah, it was an okay watch. It was a normal watch.
Yeah, no, I took a nap before watching the movie so I wouldn't fall asleep halfway through. I watched the hell out of this movie today. And I find that it works better for me to watch it on a weekend, not right after work. Never right after work. Dear Lord, do not watch this movie after a long day of frustration and being crushed.
Yeah, we established that. What you get out of a movie is what your day was like.
Yep.
What your attitude is like that day.
So, Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day. We started to start watching the derivative movies of Groundhog Day, and we started with this one. 2017, it's Happy Death Day. We watched it, and we just watched it fresh just now.
Yep. It's
first time ever. I didn't read the synopsis or anything.
Now we have to watch it 52 more times in our lives.
Oh, okay.
In our lives.
No. But yeah. Okay. So I took a bunch of notes here. The first thing I want to say is like we pretty much figured out it's like in many ways a shot-for-shot recreation of Groundhog Day. They just
scene by scene, shot by shot means a different thing.
Okay, scene by scene. Sorry, recreation of Groundhog Day. They just mixed some things up and then added a twist ending. Like they mixed up the order and they added a twist ending and they cut out the beginning.
It follows the order of the. So
well, the girl wakes up.
We should kind of mention that. So the premise of Happy Death Day is that it's a horror movie slasher loop
version
of Groundhog Day, starring a female protagonist, a woman protagonist.
I don't even know the actress's name.
I didn't bother even looking at any of these kids, these millennials.
She looks so generic. I just didn't like her.
Everybody in this movie looks generic. It's
I didn't
movie.
I didn't like her face acting at the beginning of the movie. She got better at the end, but at the beginning she was so dead.
You want to know why, Bobby?
Zombie-like.
You want to know what's wrong with that, Bobby? You've watched one of the top 10 films of all time.
According to Randy.
I've gotten down from my top 15 and I was in my top 10. Top 10 movies of all time with some of the great facial acting done by Andy McDowell to
I thought you were going to say Bill Murray, and I was like, don't you fucking dare say that Muppet is a good facial actor.
Well, didn't you notice that the baby face actually looks like Bill Murray in this movie? In Happy Death Day? Wow. They're just putting on the face of Bill Murray.
Wow. Wow, that explains something. I don't know what it is.
No, that's why people run away screaming because of all the crap. I'm sorry, Bill Murray. I'm sorry. I get it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of you.
Loose-skinned face.
Well, look at the baby on the moon. So yeah, so it's that, and the whole entire thing is she's trying to figure out who's killing her.
I guess we'll have to say spoiler alert then. Now.
Always spoilers. Yeah,
so spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie. But this one starts out in media res with her waking up. There's no intro from the day.
Yeah,
before.
we don't. This movie starts the way that the original script for Groundhog Day began, which is
maybe they based it on the original script.
Actually, no. To put it in terms people will understand. Mm-hmm. Groundhog Day. This starts on February 2nd. This is the 18th, we believe, of May.
I think I wrote that down here.
Yeah, this literally starts on the first day. She lives through it, she dies, and then loops. Then we get the loop, beginning the first loop.
Yeah.
So it's none of that lead up, none of the, here, let me introduce all the characters. Mm-hmm. It introduces all the characters that you need to know on the first day, including the inmate who's being held at the hospital is mentioned in a newscast early on.
Mm. I wasn't even paying that close attention.
Because I remember hearing Tombs at one point and talking about it. That's why.
Tombstone. So
our cast of characters.
I'm not going through all that.
No, just really quickly. It's not a big cast. You have like roughly 6 main principal people. 7. Mm-hmm. You have our lead character, generic blonde girl.
Well, by the way, she has like no
name.
She has like no name for the first like 15,
we may have talked over her
20
name
minutes
introduction.
of the movie. Apparently, her name was Teresa, but they keep calling her Tree.
Tree. Tree or Trey. Then you have
she looks like a poor man's Rachel McAdams.
Then you have the
Mean Girls.
the queen bee of the sorority house.
She's based on Rachel McAdams' character.
Whose name's Danielle. Then you have her roommate Lori. Mm-hmm. You have.
Kind of looks like a poor man's Maya Rudolph.
You have Carter, the nice guy. You have
Agent Carter.
Tim. Yeah. No. He's not the foam lord. There's only one foam lord, and that foam lord is Randy. You have Tim, who aggressively approaches Tree about not calling him.
Yeah, Randy, this
who's
is
secretly
boring.
gay. Wait, and finally you get. Oh, you may forget who oh yeah, Dr. Gregory Butler, her professor, and finally Mr. Toombs, serial killer that gets mentioned a bunch of times in the movie.
Who really looks like a generic serial killer. He's got stringy hair.
He looks like, I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy who was in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey who played Death, but without makeup on and long scraggly meth head hair.
He also kind of looks like the serial killer from Tiny Toon Adventures, How I Spent My Summer Vacation.
Deep cut,
but a good movie.
So yeah, this movie is very much a scene by scene remake of it.
We should watch that sometime.
It is a good movie.
This time it's like they literally, I don't know how they weren't sued for plagiarism. This is like, it's not even really a parody. It's literally scene for scene. This same things happen.
It's an homage. It's an homage. That's all it is.
It just seems so close.
It fits the very much the structure of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, pretty much, like right down to the exact beats.
We were able to call out. You literally have man on stairwell, or as in this movie we call her, girl going on about climate change.
Girl with what do you call that stupid thing? Clipboard. Girl with clipboard.
Girl with petition.
Yeah. This time our protagonist Tree
is a terrible person, awful person.
Yeah, she wakes up at 9:01 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. Her wake-up alarm is not Sonny and Cher. It's her phone ringing and saying happy birthday. You pick up your
phone. Hey, it's your birthday. Wake up, pick up your phone. It's like, yes.
Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
We that was canceled. We don't talk about that anymore.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. He might be innocent. Anyway, moving on. It takes her 20 minutes to get back to her house. Yeah, I wrote here, she has no name. I wrote day 1, and I was going to start counting how many days went by, and then we forgot to do that. Sorry.
We both literally forgot to keep track of how many days are in this movie.
There's a significant power outage at 9:23 p.m.
That is never explained. It's just that there's an offhand mark about, the power's out again.
And it doesn't even end up coming into play at the end now. Because
no, it does in the fake-out ending.
In the fake-out ending it does, but then that turns out to be a fake-out, so it doesn't mean anything now.
So we don't know why that happens.
We don't know why the power goes out at 9:23 p.m. It just does. I guess I'll go through these in order. We find out her mother died on her birthday.
No, not on her birthday. We've discovered that her mother
has the same
and her share the same birthday, and she died 3 years ago, but they don't explain why.
Angry guy calls her, turns out to be her father, who she's avoiding.
She's avoiding because they haven't had a good relationship.
Again, that also kind of goes nowhere too, because that happened. She reconciles with him on the fake out. Everything that happens, she kind of much like Groundhog Day. Everything she does on her perfect fill day is like the penultimate day that ends up not.
Can we just go talk about the penultimate day, like how amazingly big of a screw you that day is?
Yeah. Let's go right to it then.
So after all this, this is the difference between Groundhog Day and the movie, is that she's retaining the damage that she's been taking from the previous days.
Unlike Phil, who's immortal, and no matter how many times he dies, he wakes up exactly pristine. This girl is getting internal damage, and by the way, that never really comes into play in the end.
Nope, it's just a
it goes
throwaway
away
thing.
After a while. It goes away, and they stop talking about that.
But it explains why she has limited things. She should be dead because it's like she's been burned, she's been drowned.
And it also in this movie, much like Groundhog Day, we never get an explanation for why there's a time loop either. Well, we do get an explanation for how she has to get out of it, which turned out to be a bit of a fake out. But
that's it. That's what I was going to say. So it's like, we're just saying that all this damage, she's been keeping it.
Mm-hmm. We thought that. Much like Phil, she was going to have to become like the perfect person.
So yeah, and she does become, because after she has a heart-to-heart talk with Carter, who is the stand-in for Rita in this film.
Well, again, another freaking shot-for-shot scenes with that.
In a diner.
Yeah.
And talking about wanting to become a better person, like that she's not the person that she thinks that she could be ever since her mother died. That she's become a terrible person since her mother died.
Which, again, no explanation for how the mother died. Just said it was 3 years ago.
I think they just it's not necessary.
Car accident. Maybe a train hit her car.
I told you, she was killed over and over again on her birthday in a time loop.
Oh, okay.
So leading up to that last day, so yeah, the day before they have that conversation, yada yada yada. She wants to become, and the next day she wants to be a good person, and she does her chores.
No. We gotta go back a little bit, because she does figure out earlier that she's being killed by someone, and she has to kill the killer.
That's what she thinks.
She's like, I gotta kill the killer, and then on the last day, after she's ruled out like everybody else who could it be, because she gets killed while looking at them, or she sees them die. She figures out, the killer is that crazy guy who I saw in the news several times. So then she leads. The first thing she does is she tries to kill him, but he kills her boyfriend who saves her, or she kills the guy who saves her, who she woke up with.
Mr. Nice Guy, Carter.
Mr. Nice Guy, who never had sex with her. He just because he's such a nice dude.
Perfect gentleman.
Yeah, and then she's like, no, wait, I can't kill the killer because then I'll break the loop and he'll die, so I have to die again. So she kills herself. The next day, she leads like Phil's perfect day. And I was like, why doesn't she just go kill the killer right at the hospital?
She saves the kid out of the tree.
No, she puts a pillow under a guy's head. She signs the petition that the Greenpeace girl was going to trying to get her to sign since the beginning.
Yeah. So
she acts like really nice to everybody. She makes up with her dad.
That's it. Yeah, she has this.
And we were like, oh, okay, this is going to be like that day. Then she's going to kill the killer at the end.
And then she gets to go.
She's going to have all this character development and be a better person.
Yeah. And then she gets there. She scares off a cop.
Yeah, again, I don't know how the law works in this world, because she can, like, put a knife to a cop's throat and then grab his gun and point it at him. And then she goes to try to kill the killer.
Look, I already told you how it's going to play out.
The cop would have said...
Because the reality of the situation is that he's not going to say a little blonde girl held me up and stole my gun. Mm-hmm. He's going to blame a black guy, a Mexican guy.
So on that day, an innocent minority was killed in her stead.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so then she kills the killer. That's where the blackout comes into play, because she manages to disappear for a minute when she knows the blackout's going to come. She manages to grab the gun and shoot him dead. And then she has a weird 16 candles scene with a guy. Because, again, she hasn't been arrested for pointing a gun at a cop or putting a knife to his throat. And she's not even being questioned for killing a serial killer that she broke into a hospital to kill.
Yeah, but I have to rewind slightly for a second. The thing we forgot to mention is that every day her roommate tries to give her a cupcake to celebrate her birthday.
Yeah, it seems innocuous at first. So that was where the fake out comes in. So then they eat the cupcake or whatever, and
after killing the serial killer.
After killing a serial killer, which I don't know how she's free, because she literally just assaulted a cop and murdered a man in a bed. Even if he was a serial killer,
she shot him.
But he was posing no threat to her at the time.
No, remember, he attacked her.
But she broke into the hospital for that.
Yeah, she broke into the hospital. She was going to kill him in his bed because he's going to escape. Because she knows for a fact that he's going to escape.
But that doesn't hold up in a fucking
I know. But I'm just saying within the context of...
That's why I'm wondering how she was even back in her room that night.
But then they're going to find him escaped.
We just figured out that most likely she just ran away and didn't
I told you, it's like as he said.
And they were like, oh, a black guy did it, yeah. So he took the hit for her that night. Then she wakes up again. So that was the fake out ending.
They have a cupcake.
And we were genuinely surprised.
I had actually read the synopsis for this movie beforehand, but
you.
No, months ago, so I actually forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's so lame. That's so dumb.
It was dumb, but at least it was a twist, because I was like, that was such a predictable ending.
And then it's like, wait, she wakes up the next day.
She wakes up the next day and she's like, I died? How the hell did I die? And then she somehow figures out, wait a second, I ate the cupcake.
And died in my sleep.
And I died in my sleep. I don't really know how she figured that out that fast, but okay. And then she's like, how did her mind jump to, that was the only day I ate the cupcake? And then she somehow figures out that no, serial killer guy was a red herring, and her roommate wanted to kill her the whole time.
And her roommate had actually been killing her as the baby face killer.
Her roommate had been, and again, that was like, I wrote down here, body type means nothing. The body type of the
Friday
killer
the 13th
was a big burly
rules.
man body.
Friday the 13th
And the roommate is like a skinny girl.
Spoilers, Friday the 13th, the killer isn't Jason in the first movie, it's Jason's mother.
Who's like 58.
And she's and she comes off as a 6-foot-something man, but she's short until they take the mask off. So Jason rules. That's what it is. That's what's hitting here. It's like there's precedent in horror movies.
And then her roommate's like, I always hated you because you were sleeping with this guy who I liked, who was a professor.
Yes,
and a
sleeping
doctor.
with the doctor,
and
Dr.
also,
Hot Doctor.
And also, I think you're a bitch. So then they
honestly though, she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just to get back to that, I'll get back to that in a second. But then they scrap in the room, and then she like shoves the cupcake in her mouth. Which again, when she ate the cupcake the previous night, it took all night to kill her. This time, the roommate's mouth immediately starts burning.
Holy crap! I just realized something. Did the wannabe boyfriend eat the cupcake too and die?
Probably.
In that universe? Wait, no, not Groundhog Day rules to that extent. Not Groundcast Day rules. Never mind.
Yeah, and then she like just kicks her out a window and she dies.
Yeah.
And so like all the perfect fill days that she did the previous day was completely negated by that, and she didn't actually make up with her dad and do all that other stuff.
Yeah, but here's the question: will she do that stuff now because she realized that she's not the person that she wanted to be?
We do hear her get a call from her dad and say, "Yeah, I'm all right." So it kind of touches on it, but they still never had that.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll talk to you later. So she's going to talk to him later.
She's going to talk to him. But again, the law means nothing because she just kicked the girl out of a window, and she's already at a diner eating. Like, she didn't get questioned. Like, even if it was self-defense, she would have to prove it was like, they would have to analyze that cupcake and then prove that the roommate made it.
I don't know. Her face was burning for some reason when she had that cupcake. I don't know.
Like, wouldn't they have to do an investigation and be like, all right, come down to the police station. We're going to question you. No, she's already out.
Okay, we're running long, so let's just wrap this up.
All right.
How would you rate this movie? How do you feel about this movie?
Out of...
No, it's like, let's say out of a 5. Out of 5, what would you feel about this movie?
I felt like I was watching a shot-for-shot remake of Groundhog Day with a twist ending.
Scene for scene.
Scene. Fuck. Remake of Groundhog Day with a twist ending.
If you want to watch a shot-for-shot remake, we'll watch Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and then we'll watch What's His Face's Psycho with Vincent Vaughn, which is literally a shot-for-shot remake.
Sorry. I hated this actress at the beginning. I hated her face. She had like no facial acting, and as you know, I love facial acting. And she is just so...
So you dislike her in the way that you dislike Bill Murray, except that she's slightly prettier to look at, if a little bit generic?
Yeah. It just that she was like... I didn't like her... And her acting itself, too, is so, like, wooden and stiff. She got better by the end, definitely. But the first, like, half or three-quarters of this movie is really bad. I said the ending makes up for it a bit, but not enough.
When she goes from bad Phil to good Phil, she becomes...
It's like a 5 on 10.
So you're saying it's like a 3 out of 5 type of situation? Yeah. It's okay?
If you want to do that math. It's an okay movie, but I wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah, that's where I am. It's an okay movie.
I would not give this a rewatch.
I would honestly probably give it a rewatch if there's any cool special features on something.
It might be worth like 1 if you really care about... And then I don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about any of these people.
I found myself
the relationship between the two mains was so forced and boring, and... I didn't like the guy.
Okay, Siskel, I found it entertaining. I give this movie
Randy
a thumb
likes
up.
Everything.
No, I don't like this movie as much as Groundhog Day. I don't think it is as good, but it did some things with the premise, including the second fake out ending.
Yeah, that was very similar.
Fake out ending,
and that was another scene for scene recreation.
Scene for scene. You got it right this time. You got it right.
Of Groundhog Day when it fakes out and makes you think that she woke up again, but then the guy was tricking her.
And with that sentiment, we're at the 30-minute mark.
Wow, it was a long episode this time.
Yeah, this is the most life we've had in a while. I'm Randy.
I got
Bobby.
very worked up by that movie.
His Bobby.
Yeah.
And Trump is still in office.
Oh yeah, Trump's still in office, and don't watch Happy Death Day.
Or do. It's an okay movie. It's not
If
bad.
you have time and you're bored,
Don't pay to watch
Go
this
out of
movie.
your way, yeah. If it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And next week we'll be watching the
Happy
sequel.
Death Day to you.
Yeah.
The sequel.
I wonder
to
how
Happy
they're gonna.
Death
I
Day.
wonder how they're gonna fix that. We're gonna finally find out how that power went out. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.